What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Frank Warren, Johnny Nelson, Daniel Dubois. Get this. Frank Warren reacts to Johnny Nelson's disgraceful Dubois comments, and he had to say this. Look in the mirror. In depth. Frank had this to say. He said, contrary to what Johnny Nelson said the other day, which I thought was disgraceful, talking about Daniel Dubois being a bottle job. This is a guy who ripped all his tendons in his leg. He went down 3 times in that fight, his last fight. The first one was a genuine knockdown, caught on the top of the head very early in the fight in the first round. After that, he tore his ligaments and fought on and then stops the guy, and then had operations after that. Bottle jobs, he said, if it wasn't for Prince Nas, who brought him to me and asked me to promote him, which I didn't want to after I'd seen, I wouldn't have. I made his matches except for his mandatories, and he resigned for 7 years under my promotional banner. And that was Warren explaining that he was ready to drop Nelson for his promotional company after that. And let me counterpunch. Well, first things first, we have to look at the Daniel Dubois last fight, okay? Because the way Frank just explained it was that the first one was a legitimate knockdown, and then after that he tore the tendons or the ligaments in his leg, right? Okay, so we have okay. All right. Okay. So this is round 1. Dubois, he's on a jab. He's on his front foot. He throws a 1-2-3. Okay. Then he gets caught with a 1-2-3 combination from a southpaw. He gets caught with the left and he goes down. Yes, that was a legitimate knockdown. Okay. So I'm looking at his leg. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He threw a left hook, as you guys can see, and then he just went down. He threw another left hook. He went down. He goes down again. Okay, so see, these are the highlights, and you see, I don't know if it was because he got hit. Now, he definitely got hit with a left. And then that's coming from a southpaw, mind you. You know, he's fighting a southpaw, one of the best southpaws in the business right now. And each time he threw that left hook, okay, each time he threw that left hook, he was off balance. And I think that inflicted whatever that tear was more. But he just got a knockdown in that fight. And I don't know, like Kevin Ledana, he kind of like let off the gas, which I don't understand why. Maybe he was hurt, maybe. So this is about the end. So he's about to, he's forcing his way in. Good right uppercut, left hook lands. Then they stop the fight, which was kind of weird to me, simply because, this guy went down. Now, that was his second knockdown, where Daniel Dubois went down 3 times. And they weren't ready to do anything, because they knew, the fix was in or whatnot, or the favoritism was in. He would have to get knocked out cold in order for the ref to go in and intervene. For calling him a bottle job, I know Frank would be pissed off, and he should. That's his job. That's his job, being the promoter of Daniel Dubois, to defend that. He's not a bottle job. He's a young guy. But He did get caught. He did get caught with a left hand that he didn't see. And Daniel Dubois fights in spurts. He fights like he's a combination puncher. So we'll at times look for 2, 3, 4 punch combinations, but not really a busy fighter. Now Johnny Nelson called him a quitter. He did quit. He quit. A lot of people justify that because of the outcome of the fight and the damage that he had, but that didn't mean he should have quit. See, if he wouldn't have quit and he would have somehow won that match, because he probably would have won, because I think he was ahead on the scorecards with Joe Joyce. So if anything, if he would have won that fight, he would have won that fight more heroically, okay? Because people would have thought like, oh man, well, then maybe it was a draw. Well, they gave it to Daniel Dubois. But then to come to find out Daniel Dubois had a busted or a broken orbital bone. Okay, he would have been looked at more courageously than he did. Instead, he quit. He had 2 more rounds to go. He had rounds 11 and 12. Now, that's 6 minutes of punishment or possible punishment. Depends on how he fought. Obviously, he was going to get hit more because that's all what was happening. He was getting jabbed in the eye the whole fight in between his combination assaults, right? So I guess due to the lack of defense, due to the lack of heart and the, I guess the fear of losing like that or being hurt, he took a knee because he said, my eye don't feel right, and he quit. But he did quit. He took it upon himself to quit, and it's justified because his eye bone was broken. I mean, what can you do? What would you do about that? So, but I don't think that it was something that he said. I wouldn't have called him a bottle job, though. You know what I mean? I think that's going a little too far. But Daniel Dubois did quit, okay? Because you don't know, this is a young fighter, and he can upset the world possibly. Who knows? And then he hits hard, very hard, like Joe Joyce said yesterday. So, we have to see what happens. But as far as Frank, defending him, yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to do. But Johnny Nelson, saying that he's a bottle job, maybe he's saying that because he has no chin. The shot that he took, that wobbled him. And then that wobble, I think that wobble was due to the fact that he got hit and his leg was off place simply because his legs became unsturdy. And when your legs become unsturdy, they become wobbly. Since they became wobbly, he stepped wrong. Since he stepped wrong, he tore some shit. That's what happened to Daniel Dubois. Okay, in a nutshell. That's exactly what happened to him. So, yeah. I do question his chin at this point. Daniel Dubois is a young fighter that hasn't really been tested, especially with someone elite, especially with someone that has punching power. And when you've seen him fight someone with punching power, like Lerena and Joe Joyce, he quit in one and he got knocked down 3 times in the other fight. So we don't know what this guy is really about. He may get hurt with a shot, especially coming from Usyk, that he won't see. And he may just get knocked out. And it may be a quick night because Usyk is going to finish you. He's not going to sit there and box you for 12 rounds, especially if he knows you're hurt. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Frank Warren responding to Johnny Nelson for his disgraceful comments about Daniel Dubois. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!